this? It's triggering the alert in my suit. I need to learn more about this thing.
So, an enriched metals outpost, huh? A bit risky if you ask me, but efficient.
Huh. There must be another one of those cargo drops. Except that doesn't look like the crew's personal luggage. Might be worth checking out. Is that one following me? What the hell?
Look what I found. Any idea what it could be?
Let's see. It looks like a qubit chip.
Qubit chip?
Yeah. Like an enhanced storage for quantum computing operations. It could be useful for increasing the efficiency of our QC unit. Not to mention accessing new tech in the research lab.
It looks broken.
Perceptive. A little love in the workshop should get it up and running.
Gotcha. Thanks. Hey, how are you feeling? Well, I'll be damned. You okay? Surprisingly okay. Especially considering what I'm seeing. Very clearly. Good. Do you, remember your name? Of course. But... I think you know perfectly well who I am. So let's not waste time. Just tell me, how much did you find? What? How much rupidium is there? Did we get a breakthrough? That's not the most important thing at the moment. Except for the fact it's the primary goal of the mission. Yes, but... Hey, wait. How do you know I found any rupidium at all? Well... Isn't it obvious? I wake up seeing someone who looks and sounds like me, which has to mean we share the same DNA. Then there's the glasses. What about them? They're fake. Probably just manufactured to make me feel more like myself, but completely unnecessary otherwise, because here I am with perfectly good eyesight in the womb module, which can only lead to one conclusion: that my body was created to replicate someone who doesn't wear glasses. You. And to do that, of course, you would need to have found rupidium. Besides, I can see no other explanation for a sheep inside a space base. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wow, you're right. That's impressive. I did create you out of my DNA. We're not identical, of course. I can see you're not as quick to process information, and that's the interesting part. Yeah, our bodies are the same, but our minds are not. I needed a scientist on board, but there's always a scientist on board. So, what went wrong? The old crew is gone. They're all dead. That's why I needed to alter myself into different versions. With the use of the quantum computer on board and something called mind records. Oh, I see. A recalculated mind based on an infinite amount of variables to contain the desired consciousness in a biological vessel. That actually sounds plausible. So, what do you need from me now? Why don't you rest a little? Get accustomed to the new reality? Which part of what I just said makes you think I'm not ready to start immediately? Well, in that case, your situation must be critical considering the lengths you went to. Something tells me there's no time to lose. You're right. Why don't you start with going through the mission logs? I need to get the full picture first. My thoughts exactly. Good. This might work. I found something peculiar on the planet. What exactly was peculiar about it? Everything. It was like a local distortion of reality. And it seemed to be emitting strong radiation. Yes. You could have expected to come across something like that sooner or later, according to reports from previous missions. Unidentified sources of radiation, unexplained electromagnetic field anomalies, distortions of matter, space, or even gravity. What are they? According to a bold theory fleshed out by Professor Frankov, they may be instances of the so-called interval. The what? Interval. In very simple terms, it's a non-coincidental superposition of potential universes. We don't know exactly why it occurs, but observations prove that under certain, not yet specified conditions, two or more parallel landscapes can coexist within a common quantum field, creating a so-called proximity plane.
Whatever it is, doesn't sound like something I'd want to walk into again.
Yes, it's fascinating, but it can be dangerous. If, and I stress if, Professor Frankoff's intuition is right, then the distortion you have encountered could have been a puncture point, the spot where the proximity plane intersects with our observed universe, subverting its physical balance and distorting the rules of Newtonian mechanics. We need to learn more about these peculiarities. Inform me at once if you come across another one. I ran into another anomaly. This one was different. It was like this distortion was closing in on me, as if I was pulling it toward me. How extraordinary. Maybe its magnetic field is interacting with your suit.
Yeah, well, running away from it was no fun.
Keeping clear of it is the only thing you can do for now. Let's keep collecting observations. I feel we're onto something groundbreaking here. If we don't get the base moving soon, the sun will get to us. And believe me, this tin can will offer zero protection.
Yeah, well, at least we would die as the hottest dudes in the universe.
Is this a joke to you? Our lives are at stake. Let's get back to work.
Come on, man. I just wanted to lighten the mood a bit before we get fried.